Hey guys, Scott Reekers here with Eastmans Hunting Journals, and I'm here today to tell you about the IA2K backpack and do a review to tell you all about all the features that are here from this pack from Initial Ascent. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to Eastmans Hunting Journal's YouTube page. So the first thing that I really want to focus in with this pack is this frame. This is a Beefy Frame. A lot of brands have worked really hard to figure out carbon fiber. What do we do with carbon fiber? Is it strong enough for a backpack? Is it strong enough for a tent pole? We've been using it for years inside things like tripods, but the biggest thing that makes this frame from Initial Ascent stand out is this is heavy carbon fiber. We're not talking about lightweight carbon fiber that you can twist and bend or that has anything poking out that you can break. I've seen that for years on different backpacks where there can sometimes be breakage on carbon fiber. Carbon fiber stays. I've seen that happen as well. This is not a carbon fiber stay. This is an actual carbon fiber frame that is built beefy enough to take the load. Now, the beauty of this is that the frame has been used for a while and it's interchangeable with the IA4K pack bag and now the IA6K pack bag. There's also a day pack option that hooks to this as well. For most applications, most people, this 2K is probably going to function as a day pack with load carrying capabilities. And we'll get to that in a second. You can see my sandbags that are sitting here. There's also some other cool features. Number one, you'll notice this slot right here. You can hang your rifle on that. How many of you with a sling have had a rifle just fall off repeatedly? This will hold on to your rifle sling and hold it in place. Still get quick access to it, lift up and over, and that makes it very easy to get to. I've seen guys take and put rear elk quarters, one on each side, and hang it off the sides of those hooks right there that are meant for a sling, but it's strong enough for that to happen. Now, let's get into a couple of the other features. Number one, you're going to notice on this hip belt, it's a little bit different because one of the things that happens with a full wrap belt is there can be pinch points on the back. Well, guys at Initial Ascent said, what can we do about that? Well, how can we make that a little bit different and eliminate that pinch point? Well, they took the padding out that goes between the lumbar pad and your hip pads. And in all honesty, I think I've tested just about every brand of backpack out there. And so I've had it on some of them. You know, just everybody's frame is built a little different. So when you try this on, if you're a person who gets a lot of pinch right here on different packs, this might be a pack to actually consider. Any of you who have watched any of the hunts that I've done that are on Beyond the Grid or anything like that, some of these other reviews, you will know, and you'll probably see, I've probably been made fun of for sweating on some internet forums before. There is a lot of space between where the shoulder pads end and the lumbar pad starts for wind and air to flow through. When air flows through like that, that gives you the ability to dry off. That's a big deal to me. We're going to actually take this pack bag. I'm going to stuff some sandbags inside of it. We're going to weigh it and I'm going to take it for a hike. But first, I want to tell you about the features of the bag just so you can really get familiar with it. Number one, this is a giant panel loader style. You're going to open it up, you can lay it out. I like a backpack where I can lay all my stuff inside it, get it the way I want. If I want to take these heavy sandbags and put them inside this bag, I have no qualms about doing that. Looking at this stitching, I'm also looking at the waterproof zippers that are here. Plus, I also know that these outside pockets, of which there are two, they expand. So if you need to put your meat inside of here, say this is a day hunt, if you want to put your meat inside the pack, that's a possibility. You can also strap it to the frame, allowing you to carry the meat between the bag and the frame. Full disclosure, we're testing gear. That's what this is. This is not a, I'm not out hunting, I'm not doing anything like that. This is 100% about testing this out. So these are the two pockets that I talked about. These are what I'm going to stuff full. And you can see this is stretchy material. A heavy stitch right here. This is meant to make sure that any of that weight that's right there, this is heavy duty. This also drains water. You gotta have your snacks for day hunt. Stuff those in there, my top pack. Next up, I've got my first aid kit. So put those in there. Those up right there. I'm gonna pull this open right here. Open her up, and you can see this is the space. I'm gonna play around with this. I'm gonna take a base layer, put that down here. We're getting this puffy. And when you're getting to know a pack, you really want to spend some time and see how it kind of lays out. So loosen up down here. That's one of the things you want to do with this particular pack. Get that just right so it'll expand properly. This piece simulates a back strap, you know, or your tenderloins or a lot of your spare cuts. And so I'm going to put that right here, want it in the middle of my back. Let's zip this up, show you how this thing shapes out. Here. So get that done before you start throwing that meat on there, because you want all of this spread out. We're actually going to start breaking this away from the frame, and you can see that there are a lot of points where this attaches to this carbon fiber frame. You want to have a lot of opportunity for this pack to stay together. Breakages happen. I don't care what brand you are working with, breakages do happen. And so when that does, you want to make sure that you've got plenty of opportunities to keep that strapped in. And we're going to get this guy ready to put our simulated meat bag in. So now I've got this laid open. Meat bag simulation that I got going right here. First one's going to go down in this space. Second one is going to go up here. Sandbags keep a consistency that allow you to see how a pack will function with meat on board. You know, I know it's heavy, but I want to give you guys an actual weight of how much we're putting in here. I'm not going to go hike this 10 miles. Gonna get the up and down sorted out with this. So you can see that I've loosened this up, and now I'm pulling this, and you can see this is getting tighter. Always make sure you're getting the right pieces too, because when you hook up to the wrong strap, it doesn't carry right. This is going to be heavy. And this keeps everything loaded in. Don't put anything underneath these straps that you don't want to get squished. Make sure you keep your bladders in the bladder pocket that's up here. I am going to get this right here. We're going to pull it up. Oh, okay, we are at 80 plus here. So just kind of verify that. We will do some walking with this guy. I adjusted this a little bit. We can pull this away, move it up and down. So I moved it up just a little bit. Here's that airway that I was talking about earlier. So you can see that. Now, if only there were tailgates in the back country and you're doing elk quarters or a deer front and rear. I have become very dependent on across the body waist pulls. I'm going to cinch that down. We're gonna go for a little hike on this blustery day. Brandon is in trouble. He gave me these sandbags, told me they were only about 70 pounds. He was wrong. It's a lot more than that, but that's okay, because you don't actually get to weigh your backpack in the backcountry. That's just not there. And so one of the goals you want to have with any backpacking under any load is you don't want to be bent over like this hiking. You want to be able to stay as straight as possible. I know you're going to get a little bit, especially when you start powering up some hills. Shoulder lift is good. I could probably stand to tighten this side a little bit. Yep, there you go. Felt it tighten on the shoulder. You don't want too tight because that can inhibit your breathing. But first thought is this is good. Under this weight. I've done several hikes with it, not this much weight, but you have to at least once take it for a quarter-mile spin before you do the real heavy weight. I'm happy with how it's sitting, happy with how it's riding. I'm happy with how it's retaining weight in place. You can hook this pack up to the IA2K. You can also hook it up to the IA6K for your expedition level. So make sure that you give Initial Ascent a look if you're in the market for a pack. Want more reviews like this? Make sure you subscribe to the Eastmans Hunting Journal YouTube page, as well as Eastmans e-news, and we'll send this right to your inbox.